All right, everyone. I am your host, Lambo Drew. You are now tuned in to another edition of The Leverage Show. Again, you guys been talking about bringing my guy back to the broadcast, and I'm excited that he went on ahead and accepted the invitation. And my guy, Rondi Lambeth, is in the building tonight. You guys do not want to hear this today, man. I'm telling y'all guys want to get this out. Make sure everyone is watching this broadcast. Send this broadcast out. I've got all the text messages, emails, DMs, saying the last broadcast was like one of the best broadcasts you guys have ever seen in your entire life. And all of the wisdom, all of the jewels, all of the knowledge, everything that he dropped, literally, man, was probably the most 90 minutes that was definitely full of jewels, and it wrecked shop. If I'm telling you, if it didn't change your life, you need to go back, make sure that you catch that broadcast that Rondi Lambeth was on here just a few months back and literally blessed this channel's life. Again, without further ado, man, I cannot wait to bring to the show my guest. But I'll first go ahead, man, and check in and see who's in the chats today. Shout out to you, LA Law. Thank you. Happy Thursday, everyone. I see you in the building. Thank you for tapping in each and every single week. I'm telling you, you guys don't want to miss this guy, Rondi Lambeth. I know you guys have been excited. Larry, shout out to you. What's up, Lambo family? Thank you, Larry, for tapping in, tuning into the building. Again, it's going to be a great one. Make sure you guys are sharing this video and getting it out, man, right now. You guys don't want to miss what Rondi's going to bring. Money, thank you again. Shout out to you for tapping in into the building. Thank you for what you're doing on the broadcast each and every single week. Jamal Titus is in the building. Lambo Drew in the house. Thank you, Jamal Titus. Thank you for all you do each and every single week. Please, please, please get this video out. You guys are definitely going to want to get it out. My guy, Bank of Gerald, man. Thank you, Jay, man. One of the biggest YouTube influencers out here, man, for tapping in and tuning in. Thank you for your support and what you have definitely been to the channel and what you have been to thousands of other people, man, out there, G. You know, man, we talk all the time. I know you wasn't going to definitely miss this. Thank you, Vibes. You're definitely tuned in. Shout out to my wifey. Thank you, Renata Johnson. Hello. I know you're definitely giving your love and your regards. You know, Mr. Lambeth was going to be in the building. Some great things is happening. Everybody's tuning in. Look at that. Look at the turnout. Shout out to you guys. Lakeisha Townsend. Thank you, Miss Lakeisha Townsend, for tuning in. Continue to go ahead and tune in, man, each and every single week and every single night, Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. Shout out to you, Fro. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. GQ, shout out to you. Hi, Drew, good vibes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, GQ. Miss Antoinette, thank you for tuning in. Hello, Miss Antoinette. Thank you again, man, for another wonderful show on The Leverage Show. GQ, you got this, you got this. No, we got this. And the guy I'm getting ready to introduce is the gentleman who has it the most. Mr. Rondi Lambeth, you guys heard me talk about him more and more, heard me brag about him, seen all of the accomplishments and all of the great things that he has been in countless of other people's lives around the world. Thankfully, he has been able to stand on the stage and stand next to some of America's greatest life coaches as well. Some of the great names is Grant Cardone and Ed Milet, some of those great people that you guys follow. Well, Rondi Lambeth is definitely mentioning the name amongst some of the greats out there who's helping change the countless lives of many great people. And today, I'm so esteemed to have him back to The Leverage Show for a second time in the same year. My guy, my friend, Mr. Rondi Lambeth. Welcome him to everybody to The Leverage Show.
Thank you so much for having me back on. I appreciate that. I love being on this show.
Rondi, you know what? It was an honor. You know, I definitely couldn't go ahead and pass this up, especially, man, when you say, hey, Lambo Drew, I'm going to come back again. I'm going to come back and talk about credit the next time. So don't worry about it. I got you. And we've been honored. We've been waiting, like I told you, definitely for your return. And thank you again for coming back to The Leverage Show.
My pleasure. Thank you for being flexible. I know we had a call scheduled and I bailed on you because I got invited to go have dinner with the governor.
Yes.
I'm like, well, I can do the podcast or go have dinner with the governor and see if I can throw in some ideas for him to maybe do a little bit better job for us entrepreneurs here in Idaho. So it was a great dinner with Governor Little.
Okay.
And it was, learned a lot. So thank you for being flexible and thanks for having me back on the show. So,
hey, we're honored, man. I told you, we're honored. We couldn't wait to hear from one of the goat's mouth himself. Everybody was literally commenting in the DMs and the text messages. They seen all of the broadcasts. They seen the promos going up. And everybody's like, you got the GOAT coming back to the show. And some people who never even knew the show, because at the time we were a lot smaller in numbers to where we're at now. And they were like, you got Rondi Lambeth coming back. So everybody's been waiting for this dude. So, man, we're going to let you have at it and just let you tap in to some of the great knowledge and tools that you have actually helped countless of other people in your life, man. Level up on a whole nother level. So thank you.
So here's what I want to share today. I want to share with you what I've learned over the last 15 years, helping hundreds of thousands of people with their credit, removing late payments and bankruptcies and charge-offs and repos and collections and short sales, foreclosures. And what I learned from FICO. So I'm a FICO certified credit professional. There's less than a dozen or so of us in the United States. I'm also a federally court-approved credit expert witness, and that number gets even smaller. And I own, a couple companies. Fortress Credit, which is a credit repair company. I have a new 501c3 that I set up, which is Fortress University. That is my education company where we teach people about money, credit, debt, taxes, investing. And then I own Credit Mojo, which is a credit monitoring. So I've seen thousands and thousands of credit reports. I mean, my company pulls every month 10,000 credit reports or so every month. So I want to teach you guys, I want to share with you how to manage your credit the way FICO designed the system for it to be managed. So who's FICO? FICO is the Fair Isaac Company. They were created in 1956 by Bill Fair and Earl Isaac. And one was a mathematician, one was an engineer, and they created this very complicated algorithm that predicts the future. Literally predicts the future. And billions of FICO scores have been purchased since the creation. Literally, probably hundreds of billions of scores have been purchased. And hundreds of billions of times, they have predicted the future on whether or not that person will pay their bills on time over the following 2 years. That's all your FICO credit score is what's the likelihood that Lambo Drew is going to pay his credit card on time over the next 2 years. That's your FICO score. So the FICO score ranges between 300 and 850. That's what we know, right? 300, 850. Yes, there's other models that go up to 900. So, I did a TV interview recently, and after the interview, I started getting all this email from this dude saying, you said it was 850, mine's a 900. And I'm like, well, yes, there's thousands of different versions of FICO credit score, literally thousands of different versions. So there's 10 models, now 11, 10T just come out. But inside each model are hundreds, sometimes thousands of different scorecards. And that's how there's thousands of different FICO scores. Okay? So let's talk about the main one, 300 to 850. Now, there are certain things you have to do in order to get an 850 credit score. You don't need an 850 though. Anything over 750 is considered great. You want to strive to have an 800 in case you overutilize a credit card or something happens. You get a new credit card or something. So it drops down a little bit, but you want to try to get that 800 range. But you don't have to be an 850, anything over 750. So here's what I learned over the last 15 years with FICO and looking at credit reports. Credit cards are the number one thing to have on your credit. If you don't have at least 3 credit cards at all times that are active and open, so there's a difference between open and not active. So open and active, you need 3 credit cards on your credit report at all times in order to have great credit. Now, when you manage that credit card, here's the number that messes everybody up. And let me ask you, and maybe we talked about this last time I was on the show, what's the current utilization rate that you want to have on a credit card?
The best utilization rate, Rondi, or what? Talk to them.
What is the utilization rate that most people have been told to keep their credit cards around?
30%.
30%. And that information generally comes from banks, real estate agents, mortgage brokers. And these are people that make money when you buy houses. Now, the bank or car dealerships, they share that information too. The banks make money off of interest. And the lower your credit score is, the more interest they charge. So it is in the bank's best interest to share information that's not accurate. And what I mean by that is a bank will say 30 to 50% on your credit card because that's what the bank wants you to do because they're charging you interest. What FICO wants you to do in order to give you that 850 credit score is 1 to 5%. 1 to 5, which means if you spend more than 5% on that card, your score is going to go down by approximately 5 points for every 5% that you use. So you got a $1,000 credit limit and you spend $5. It's perfect. If you spent $100, that would be 10% utilization, which means you lose 5 points. If you put 30 to 50% on there, you're going to lose 30 to 50 points roughly. So they want to see it between 1 and 5% on all credit cards, whether it's a department store card, a charge card like American Express, or a Visa, MasterCard to Discover. So 1 to 5%. So you got to have 3 of them. And what I find is a lot of people that have bad credit, and that's generally what I see all day long, is people with bad credit scores and bad credit, because there's a difference between a bad credit score and bad credit. You can actually have good credit with a bad credit score, and that's because of credit card utilization rates. So what I mean by that is if you've never missed a payment, you could still have a low 600, high 500 credit score because your credit cards are maxed out. And the moment you paid them off and the credit bureaus then were updated, or I should say the moment they're updated, you would see a drastic increase on your credit score. So I think that's the biggest thing that people mess up is they listen to that 30 to 50%, and really it's 1 to 5%. And then the next thing on credit cards, you got to use them every month. It's kind of like a gym membership. You go to the gym today? Did you go to the gym today, Lambo?
I didn't. My wife got on me today too. Okay. Only because I've been running nonstop.
Yeah. I did not go to the gym today either. Now, I ask people all the time, is owning a gym membership or having a gym membership make you healthy? So does that get you in shape because you have a gym membership?
No, you got to use it.
You got to use it. It's the same thing with credit card. Having a credit card is not going to help your credit. Yeah, it helps your credit, but it's not going to make your credit healthy. You're not going to get an 800 credit score unless you use the credit card. So if you just have a credit card and you never use it, there's no activity, and it's saying 0, FICO literally thinks it's closed, and so they kick it out of the algorithm, and you don't get credit for that credit account. And so you have to use it. And so that's what I mean by being active. It's got to be open, and it's got to be active. So what I recommend is I have a stack of credit cards here on my desk, and I got to get a new one here. Look at this one.
Is that a Chase Freedom?
Yeah, I got a little, it was sitting in the dash in my new truck. And so anyway, I got a whole stack of credit cards here. I mean, I got dozens of credit cards. Now, every single one of these credit cards gets used every month. There's activity on them. One pays for Netflix. One pays for the internet. One pays my electric bill. One pays my car insurance. One pays my cell phone. One pays for garbage. You get the point?
Correct.
All of my credit cards are used. And then in my wallet, I have 2. I have my American Express I use for business, and I have my Costco City card I use for personal. That's it. All the rest of them get $15 here, $100 there. They're very, very small. So they're always activity. So they never get closed. And FICO always counts it in the algorithm. So that's how one of the things that you need to do is get your credit cards and set them up for Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is. So I mean, I can talk for hours upon hours. You've been getting the message requests and the subject requests and the messages and all that stuff. So is there something else that you want me to talk about?
Man, there is so much stuff. I got a lot of people who are business owners on here. I got a lot of people even with their own personal credit. You know, the hottest thing is out there right now is business credit, you know, making sure that you leverage your business credit to protect your personal credit.
Yep.
What are the truths and the myths that you hear about business credit versus personal credit, Ron?
Sure. You know, we've been helping people with business credit since 2010. And in fact, we're up to 315 banks now in my system. So when you go through Fortress University, 7 days of 740 credit, that teach you how to improve your personal credit score. And then we just plug in your data into our system. And within a few minutes, it will tell me every single bank that you qualify for, not pre-qualified, but actually qualify for. So we got 315 banks. We've been helping people now, I don't know, 12 years to get business credit and millions of dollars. I think the most I ever got somebody was Colin Wayne. He owns Redline Steel, doing $100 million a year now in sales. And I think we got him $5 million line of credit and then a couple other million for his lasers. So we help people from, you know, 20 grand a credit card to hundreds of thousands to sometimes millions. So what are some of the myths, or what are some of the problems, I should say? The biggest problem with business credit is there is no Fair Credit Reporting Act. So they're not regulated whatsoever. So if I wanted to, I could pull your business credit right now. I could pull Apple's, Microsoft, Windows, HP, any business in the United States, I could pull their credit with no permissible purpose. I can see every credit card they got. I can see every vendor account, all of it. I can pull Walmart's credit if I wanted to. So that's one myth, that people are protected, and you're not on business credit. There's really no law that protects us. It's the Wild West when it comes to issuing credit. The problem is because of that, 85%, the banks estimate, about 85% of all the applications they get every day are fraudulent. Because some guy sitting in Nigeria and he just pulled Walmart's credit. He opened up a P.O. box and now he's applying for credit cards in Walmart's name, hoping they're going to be sent to him. Now, it's 85% of the daily applications, which means some of them raking it through. Otherwise, these guys wouldn't continue to do it. So that's one of the problems, is the amount of fraud that happens with it. And so you got to be really careful with your business, and you really should have business credit monitoring, which most people don't, because there's a lot of fraud on there. And I think the myth is that there's that meme that I see it, man, it just boils me every time I see it. And it's something like, you know, our system's messed up when an 18-year-old can get a $100,000 student loan but can't get a business loan. That's such a load of crap. Any 18-year-old can go get business credit and get hundreds of thousands of dollars of business credit if they simply applied. The problem is they're not applying for business credit. They're applying for student loans. But there's no law that says you have to be, 55-year-old business owner, some white dude from Alabama. There's not, anybody can get business credit as long as you have a business. So that's the biggest myth, I think, is that you can't get business credit, because you can. Anybody can get it as long as you have a real business. Now, it's whether or not you have a real business. The only businesses that can't get funding are they get funding outside of traditional business credit. We'd like payday loans, webcam, sex, porn stuff. That's going to be really difficult to go to Bank of America and get $1 million line of credit so you get new cameras. There are people that will loan you the money. It's not traditional. Okay?
Right.
And then I think people think that that your personal credit, that business credit is based on your personal credit score. And that's not true. There's really 4 C's. It's cash, collateral, credit, and I just 3 C's: cash, collateral, credit. So what that means, if you have cash in the bank account, you can get business credit without personal credit. If you got good personal credit, but no cash, you can get business loans. If you have collateral, you get business loans. You just can't do it all at the same time. What I mean by that is you can't have horrible personal credit, no collateral, and no cash and think someone's going to give you money. That's stupid. The banks are not stupid. And there's lots of banks that are giving out money. I mean, for example, the newest bank that we just picked up is KeyBank.
Really?
And they have a product to compete with American Express Platinum Card. No preset credit limit. No financials. None.
No docs? No docs submitted.
No docs. So you fill out a one-page application. You tell them what your credit card spend is, and they will give you a KeyBank Platinum Card. But instead of a 30-day grace period, it's a 45-day grace period. And then they add a second line of credit to it with a 45-day grace period. So they give you the credit card and the line of credit. And most of them are coming out around $50,000 on the credit card and $100,000 on the line of credit. So that's one of our newest banks. Another one of our banks, if you open a bank account with them, so it's got to be a business bank account. But if you open a business bank account with them, deposit money for 90 days. On the 96th day, so 3 months, they will give you up to $100,000 line of credit, no financials, just as long as you had money deposited into a bank account. And that up to $100,000 based on how much you're depositing. So if you're depositing $100 a month, you're not getting a $100,000 line of credit.
Right.
They do 10x. So as long as you put in deposit over 3 months at least $10,000, they'll give you a $100,000 line of credit. So there's money out there. There's a lot of money out there for business folks.
Now, hold on. That wouldn't be Wells Fargo, right, Rondi?
No, it's a small bank.
Oh, my goodness. So I've heard about the Wells Fargo play, about the 100K play, man. We talked about that in some of our seminars, them issuing out the soft line of credit and stuff like that by opening up the business account. And they're giving you personal account plus the personal line of credit.
Yep.
Never heard about this one, Rondi.
Yeah, this is a bank that I was introduced to a while ago, and it's a small bank. They have one branch, and they're trying to build it up, get a bunch of money under management so they can sell to a Wells Fargo. And that's the whole idea. And so this guy started this bank, and this is what he's trying to do. That's the same thing KeyBank's trying to do, by the way. They're trying to bring in more customers. And Bank of the West has a similar program. Basically, open a bank account. 3 months later, they give you a line of credit. Now, it is, I remember a while ago, I got a new bookkeeper, and she's like, I've never seen somebody with so many bank accounts. Like, why do you have so many bank accounts? I'm like, because I have lines of credit with all those banks. And she said, but you're not using them. I said, I know, but I have it.
Yeah.
So you can't get fire insurance when your house is on fire.
Right.
You can't get credit when you need the money. You can only get credit, generally speaking. The banks give you money or give you credit when you don't really need it. And so I have dozens of $100,000 lines of credit. And it's going to come into play here pretty soon when the foreclosures start happening and the real estate market starts dropping and people start dumping their watches and their cars and their boats and their assets and their houses. I have a line of credit. I can just write a check and purchase it without having to go through the whole refinance thing for financials, right? Because I already have it.
Right.
So I like to have lots of lines of credit.
Well, it's amazing. It's contrary to say that one of the biggest things out here, even with business credit, and we're talking generational wealth, it's a two-part question. I hear people all the time say, well, you can actually get business credit with bad credit, and you don't have to have any credit at all, and you can get all of this business credit. And you're hearing every guru out there talk about this. Rondi, in your personal experience, and you talked about the 3 seasons between cash, collateral, and credit. What is the truth and the myth to that as well? And how far can a person go with leveraging themselves with bad credit, or even with a new business that doesn't have the correct trade lines or the personal format set up for that business?
So yes, you can get approved with personal bad personal credit.
Mhm.
90+% of the banks are going to look at your personal credit.
Mhm.
Your business credit score, the FICO liquid score. You ever heard of the FICO liquid score?
You are teaching me something new, Rondi.
So FICO has what's called a liquid score.
Mhm.
And that is a combination of your personal credit and your business credit combined.
Mm.
So if you have poor personal credit, you're going to have a poor business FICO liquid score.
Mm.
Now, does that mean you get denied? No. That just means that they have to do a little bit more looking into things. So I'll give you a good example. I know a guy that you mentioned his name earlier, and about 3 years ago, he bought a $50 million jet,
Mhm.
and he's got his name written on the side of the jet, and him and his family fly all over the world in this jet.
Beautiful G650, right?
Yes, it is. Gorgeous jet.
Yes.
You know, he's got a 600 personal credit score.
Get the heck out of here. Get the heck out of here.
Yep. Remember I said you can have good credit and a bad score. He's an example. And the reason why is he just doesn't use personal credit for anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all business credit. So do you think he paid cash for that jet? No. He got a loan for the jet, right? And when he bought that Rolls Royce for one of his conventions, that the SUV, he wrapped it, and then he got rid of it like a month later. He didn't pay cash for that. He got a loan for that through his business. So yes, you can get, I mean, look, the jet was $50 million or whatever it was. Okay. But it was probably it's probably closer to 50 million with everything he did on it.
I thought he would say 75. Right?
He might have. I don't.
We'll leave it alone. Yeah.
You know, whatever it is, it's a lot of money though.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's smart what he did. And then, but if you look at what another guy did that you said his name earlier that I'm very good friends with, he recently bought an island.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. You know.
He paid cash. Not very smart. Now,
why is that? You gotta explain it for everyone who's out there who
he
has versus credit.
He has an emotional attachment to debt, and he gets anxiety for having debt.
Okay.
And if he would simply use debt, he'd be worth billions of dollars instead of $800 million.
He's still worth a whole lot of money now.
Look, I am not criticizing the guy, and it proves it goes into my point, which is if you have anxiety over debt, then don't have debt, and just forget everything I said about credit, and it doesn't matter. Just pay cash for everything. Now, if you can handle, like I handle debt really well. I have over $100 million of debt. Almost all of it is apartment complexes. One's for my airplane and my truck and stuff, and I don't have any personal debt. My house, I guess. My house is debt, right? I don't lose any sleep on whether or not my credit cards are going to get paid or my house is going to get paid. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. With the other guy, it bothers him. So he pays cash for everything. But imagine, he paid like, I think it was $25-30 million for that island. And then his house, he's got 2 houses in Laguna. Both are $30+ million. Then he's got his house in Palm Springs. It's $30+ million, all cash. So right now he owns about $150 million in real estate that he paid cash for. Wow. He could take that $150 million, buy right now he could buy a $600 million apartment complex and finance the rest. But he doesn't want to do it. Whereas in the other guy that also has a jet, they both have jets. One financed it with business credit, one paid cash.
Right.
So, and both of them have most likely poor credit scores. I've never seen the second gentleman's credit score. I've seen the first guy's credit score. Because I used to hang out. I hang out with both of them. But anyway, so yes, to answer your question, can you get business funding and credit? Can you get business funding and money with bad personal credit? Yes. Will the banks look at your personal credit? Yes. Does it affect your business credit score? Yes. So remember, as long as you have cash or collateral, then they look the other way on the credit score.
Mm. Wow. So that is, yeah, that's a game changer right there. They looking the other way. Now we're talking about this real estate game, and we're gonna go a couple of different ways. Some of the questions have been off of the chain, and I know I seen the broadcast, man, Rondi, and I think we kind of spoke briefly on it, me and you, off the record, and you talked about this building that you actually wind up purchasing and stuff like that. And every nook and cranny in that building, from the light bulbs, the fixtures, and everything else, you could write off or literally like get a credit back against. Talk to the people and kind of elaborate for those who are going into real estate. They're trying to leverage personal or trying to leverage business credit, that who may be, unfamiliar with that type of financing that you can actually get of equity back in from a building.
Yeah. So I bought a $43 million apartment complex in June.
Mm-hmm.
And we put $17 million down.
Mm-hmm.
Most of that was raised from people like you, $10,000 at a time. In fact, tonight on my coaching call, I'm teaching all of my students how to set up an IRA, so self-directed IRA, so they can purchase real estate inside their IRA. So now you get a tax deduction every year. It grows in their tax deferred, and then we show them how to pull the money out later, tax free.
Mm-hmm.
So I can tell you this: it was easier to get the $43 million apartment than it would be to get a $300,000 condo. There's less paperwork, it's less headache, it's non-recourse, it's not personally guaranteed, which means if I default on it, they don't come take everything from me. They don't even report me late. They simply just repo the apartment complex. Okay? So can you get financing for that and funding? Absolutely. And it's easy to get financing for that. The problem is, so if you went, let's say you wanted to go buy a $5 million apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time you've ever done it. In order to get that $5 million loan, you have to have $5 million in the bank in cash, held as collateral, and then they'll loan you the money, plus your down payment, which is generally 35%. So you'd really have to have like $8.5 million to buy $5 million. Now, once you're in the club as in you own an apartment complex, they just throw money at you. And so what I do with my investors is I let them, when they invest with me, whether it's $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million, they all have ownership in that apartment, which means they're now in the club. And if they ever want to go out and buy their own apartment, they can actually do it because they have a K-1 proving that they're an owner in that apartment complex, which brings me to what you were asking, which is called tax segregation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, I said tax, cost segregation. Mm-hmm. So it's called the cost segregation report. And it's the way that the wealthy people who own apartments, that's how we legally don't pay income tax. I have personally not paid income tax in over 12 years. Grant Cardone does not pay personal income tax. Unfortunately, Ed Milet pays a ton of taxes because he doesn't use debt. He doesn't leverage his credit to buy apartments. He buys real estate in cash. And when you do that, it kind of messes things up. So what is cost segregation? Well, cost segregation is they go through your apartment or your house. You can do this on single family homes as well. I just had a friend that bought a building and I was telling her about it. And she just went and did it. It cost her, I think it was $3,500 for the cost seg report, saved her $150,000 in taxes. Pretty good investment, right? With our stuff, because they're big apartments, it's usually around $50,000 for the cost segregation report, but it saves us tens of millions of dollars. And so what cost segregation allows you to do is instead of depreciating that real estate over 25 years, you depreciate it over 5. So it takes all of that depreciation, crams it into 5 years, and you get most of it year one. So for example, on the cost seg report, they'll write down every light bulb in the building, every light switch, every hinge, every doorknob, okay? Every outlet that you plug something in. So everything in that building except the HVAC system, heating and ventilation, the water system, the roof, and the flooring. Everything else is cost segregated. So this $43 million apartment we bought in June, we got almost $30 million in write-off day one through cost segregation. So how does that work? Well, that means I got a $30 million write-off the day I bought it in depreciation. Do you think that apartment complex depreciated by $30 million in day one?
No.
It went up in value. But I'm legally allowed to take that as a loss. So that means I can now make $30 million in profit before I ever have to pay a dime in taxes. And if you buy one of those every year, you never pay taxes the rest of your life because you're always buying. Well, when you get done buying, here's another way that they don't pay taxes, the wealthy, is if I needed money, I could go out and earn it. But if I earn it, I pay taxes on it. Or I can access a line of credit through one of the apartments or a business, pull out cash. I can pull out $100,000. How much tax do I pay on that? None.
Zero.
In fact, I get a tax deduction on the interest. And so that's one of the advantages of real estate and business ownership is you can pull money out of the business via debt and not pay any income tax on it whatsoever. So I think that answered your question. I hope it did, but if not.
No, that answered the question and then some. I mean, I'm getting the texts left and right like, this dude's on fire, man. So it's similar to, we talk about one of the hottest things out there now, Rondi. I know you've heard of just about everything, but it's the front loading the life insurance play. You know, a whole life play, and you as well know that is exactly another way, and then borrowing against the line similar to what you do in real estate, so that you don't get taxed at that, and you're able to use that money to do some other things. Could you talk about that just a little bit, Rondi?
You bet. I actually own an insurance agency, and this is exactly what we do. I don't do whole life though. I don't do whole life because I like indexed.
Yeah.
So I use IULs, Index Universal Life. And the way it works is I'm assuming your audience is familiar with Roth IRAs.
Yes.
Okay. So a Roth IRA, there was a congressman named Roth, and he created this whole program where you can put basically $6,000 a year into a Roth IRA. It grows 100% tax-free. You access it 100% tax-free when you're 55 and a half. And you basically buy mutual funds with it, unless it's self-directed, and then you can buy real estate with it. But it's limited to $6,000 a year. So you can't put very much money in it. Also, you can't make very much money and qualify for this. So if you are upper middle class, you cannot do a Roth IRA. You basically have to be working poor or low middle class in order to get a Roth IRA. So there's what Tony Robbins calls the millionaire's Roth. And the millionaire's Roth is the IUL, cash value life insurance. This has been around over 100 years. Cash value life insurance. The Rockefellers are the ones that really perfected being your own bank. And the way it works is there's no limit. So there's no law that says you can only put $6,000 a year, and you can put $6,000 a day in it if you wanted to. You can put $6 million into it. There's no limit. You don't have to wait till you're old. You don't have to wait till you're 60 to get it. You have to wait 1 year to get it. It is not invested in anything. It's indexed against the stock market. So if the stock market goes up, you get paid interest based on what it did. If the stock market goes down, you get paid nothing. but you lost nothing if it crashed. And this is where people get, the money managers will twist it up and they'll say, well, it's not a very good investment. And they're wrong, because it's not an investment. Because legally, if it was an investment, you pay taxes on it. And this money grows 100% tax-free, and you can access it 100% tax-free anytime you want to have it. There's no age limit, with exception of you got to be at least 2 weeks old to get one of these accounts. Anyone can have it. Anyone can use it. And as long as they're healthy. So if you're overweight, got a bunch of DUIs, you use drugs, you're not going to get one. If you're a little overweight and you smoke, you can get one. You're just going to pay a little bit more for the life insurance part of it. So here's how it works. You go out and you get $1 million life insurance policy, which you should have life insurance. You know, it was sad. About 3 weeks ago, I saw a friend on Facebook. He died, left a wife. He was in his 20s, and he got vaccinated. Immediately started having side effects, and less than a year later died of a heart attack at 20-something years old. Wow. And it's all because he got vaccinated. And I had told him, I sat down with him and his wife to get him $1 million policy. And he just said, I don't need it. I'm in my 20s, don't need life insurance. And I said, if something happens to you, man, your wife, she's going to be forced to go find some other dude.
Yeah.
You're literally making your wife go find some other dude to raise your kids because you don't want to spend $30 a month or $50 a month on life insurance. He's like, no, I don't want to do it. I'll do it later. Well, he died and he didn't get the life insurance. So now guess what? His wife's going to go out and find some other dude, because how else is she going to take care of 2 kids? She was a stay-at-home mom. He made all the money. She doesn't have any options. So you go get $1 million life insurance policy. And with the $1 million policy, it's going to cost you, I don't know. How old are you?
40.
$150 a month. Okay. You could put into that policy about $50,000 a year in cash, or the equivalent of $500,000 over your lifetime. You can put it in all at once. You can put a little bit in now, a whole bunch later. You can put in a lot now. It's up to $500,000 basically in cash. So you get your life insurance. Let's say it's $100 a month for simple math. And let's say your budget's $1,000 a month for your retirement account. So you put $1,000 a month into it. $900 goes into the savings account. $100 goes into the life insurance portion. The $100 pays for the life insurance. If you died, your family gets $1 million and the cash. Okay. So you put $1,000 a month in, $900 goes to savings, $100 goes to life insurance. That $900 now is paid interest every month based on what the stock market did that month. So if the stock market goes up 20%, you get 20% interest on the $900. If it goes down 20%, you get zero, and zero becomes the hero. And this is where the money manager's like, well, you don't get any money. Yeah, but I didn't lose any money.
Yeah.
You know how many people are losing money right now in their 401ks, and it goes back up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. With this, it only goes up and it captures it. So it's kind of like an escalator. It goes slower. It's not an elevator. It's up and down all day long. It only goes up. And in the end, if you put $1,000 a month in, if I set one up for you right now, 40 years old, put $1,000 a month in, increased it by $100 a month every year. So this year it's $1,000 a month. Next year it's $1,100. Following year is $1,200. Just little teeny tiny increments. At age 60, I'd have $1 million in your account that you could access at tax-free, and you could pull $100,000 a year out and never touch the principal because it constantly is getting that 10% return every year. Most of these average 7.5 to 15% return. My clients right now are getting about 21% a year in returns. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, we can do what's called a multiplier. And Pacific Life does this. It's a 6-time multiplier. So if the stock market does 20% return, you get 120% interest. And it just gets insane how much money you can make out of it. So here's what Tony Robbins figured out when he wrote this book, Money Master the Game. He interviewed 42 billionaires. What he found out was every single one of them had cash value life insurance. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And all of his rich friends have cash value life insurance. Why? Because I do this a lot with athletes. You know, they get a $3 million signing bonus. We take that money, put it in the life insurance policy, wait 1 year. If it's in the life insurance policy, there's no tax. Mm-hmm. Wait 1 year. A year later, you start pulling money out 100% tax-free. Mm-hmm. Then the other thing you can do is if you're a business owner, you can finance the cash value up front. So here's how it works. Let's say you want to have $5 million in your retirement at age 50. You don't want to wait until 60. Mm-hmm. So 10 years. You want $5 million. All right. So we would go to like Bank of America. We would get you $1 million in a line of credit at 3% interest. You put the $1 million into the life insurance today, which starts getting 20% interest, right? Because it's never going to lose money.
Right.
No gains. The life insurance beneficiary is the bank. So if you died, they get all the money. And now you just pay interest only into this IUL. You financed it with the business. Now, because it's a loan, it's 100% tax deductible. And in 10 years, you'll have $5 million sitting there. And the loan, you simply cash it out. You take $1 million, because remember, you borrowed $1 million up front.
Correct.
$1 million out of the $5 million life insurance, and you give it to the bank. And now you got $4 million sitting there that you have access to that's going to spit out about $500,000 a year in interest for the rest of your life, 100% tax-free. It's called premium financing. It's freaking amazing.
Dude, you see, as Sidro says, I know that I'm on the right show for sure. I'm getting nothing but comments, emails, texts, everything.
So cash value life insurance is amazing, man, if it's set up properly. And that's the problem. The problem is there are 200,000 people in America every year that get their life insurance license. They do 1 or 2 policies. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And basically they just screw it all up. And so if they're done wrong, it's a very expensive life insurance policy. If done properly, that's the key. If done properly, it is the most amazing asset you will ever have because it grows tax-free. You can access it tax-free. You don't have to wait till you're old to get to it. Let's say 5 years from now, you're like, you know what? I want a new truck. I want a new Ferrari. I want a new Lamborghini.
Hey,
right?
Come on.
This is how it works. I have one. I put $4,000 a month into my IUL. Mm-hmm. Every few years, I get a new Ferrari. That's how I get it, is I simply borrow it from my life insurance at 0% loan. I borrow it. I loan it to my company. I charge my company 10% interest. Okay, so I can pull money out of my company so I don't have to pay taxes on it. The company pays back the loan. And so I go buy the Ferrari with the life insurance money. I charge my own company the interest, and then my own company pays back the loan. I'm not paying Bank of America interest. Now I have a mortgage, but most of my loans and stuff that I do are for myself. So now I get to double dip on that money.
You know, Rondi, before we can even go any further with this, you were one of the first ones some years back that I heard about. You turned around and you took a loan out on what was that? The Ferrari or one of them. And you did one of the plays on that. That you was like, yo, I'm not worrying about the note on this Ferrari or anything like that. Because the loan, the term that you took out was like a 10 or 20 year loan or something. It was something astronomical, man. Wow. 12-year loan. Yes.
Yeah, 12-year loan.
And with that, talk to the people about that, because I know you were talking about pulling money, man, each and every single few years to do an upgrade on the Ferrari. But talk to those out there. That's called the exotic car play, man, for somebody who's out there with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's, I belong to a club called Exotic Car Hacks, and Pejman is the founder of that. And basically, he teaches you how to buy exotic luxury cars, as well as watches, and access them, drive them for 3 to 6 months, and it doesn't cost you anything. I decided I didn't want to be in that constantly trying to get a new car. I just wanted to get one, but I didn't want to lose any money. So there's certain cars in certain years in certain colors that when you purchase them, they generally do not depreciate. In fact, the Ferrari that I bought last is valued 3 times more right now than it was when I bought it. So Pejman will teach you what cars to buy. And so the way it works is you can go to Woodside Credit, which is a pretty popular bank for exotics, and you get a 12-year loan. So, you go buy a, $500,000. Well, yeah, if you bought a new Huracan, it'd be $500,000, right? I mean, I'm not much into Lamborghini, so I don't know the price on those, but
it's 500,000. It's
okay.
Yeah.
So I would buy. I'll just show you. I'll just pull one up right here. So we'll give a little plug to Pejman. But if I wanted to get a Lamborghini, a Huracan, or whatever, I would go in here, Lambo. Let's see what I got. I got one right here. So this is a 2015 Aventador. I could buy this car right now for $355,000. Yeah, it's 7 years old. But
Okay. Yeah.
Buying that brand new would be $1 million.
Yeah, with ease on the average.
But I could buy it right now for $355,000, drive it for 6 months, and sell it for $355,000, if not more. So I'd get a 12-year loan on that. So I just go in, I get a 12-year loan. I put in $355,000. Hopefully this isn't boring anybody.
My brother, do you see these comments, Rondi? I don't think you're seeing this, man.
Yeah. So look, you could drive that Lamborghini, and your payment's $3,400 a month. You don't have to be Grant Cardone rich or Ed Milet rich to have one of these cars. Yes, you have to have $3,500 of disposable income plus another probably $200 for insurance, because insurance is not that much. It's less than $100 a month on my Ferrari. That's worth a hell of a lot more money than that Lambo is.
Yeah.
But insurance on Ferraris, it's not that much because you just don't drive them that much. As long as you have, say, $4,000 of disposable income, you drive this Lamborghini for 6 months and sell it and get all your money back. And so that's the exotic car hack play. And you do the 12-month or 12-year financing to keep that payment really low. Or you could go lease that car for probably the same payment. You can't drive it very much. And at the end of that 3 years, you've lost all your money.
Yeah.
Because it's brand new when you bought it. Instead, let someone else drive it, put 2,000-3,000 miles on it, and lose $700,000. And then you pick it up, drive it, put a couple thousand miles on it, and sell it for what you got into it. So, and then you can use your life insurance. If you had enough cash value in there, you could borrow it from that and simply pay for it, flip the car, put the money back in the life insurance. Doesn't cost you anything. Go buy another car. You see the point. Then you can do the same thing with real estate. It's way easier to refinance a rental property than it is to get financing. And so what I teach my students is, let's stop putting money in 401ks unless it's getting matched. Let's stop buying mutual funds. Put all your money either into that self-directed IRA that we set up or into your IUL, because you can access it after a year. And then when we find that piece of real estate, pull the money out, go buy the real estate, pay cash, essentially, refinance it later, pull your cash back out, put it back in your IUL. And the best thing, with this, when you pull the money out of your IUL, you actually didn't pull it out. And the reason it's tax-free is because they just loaned you the money. So even though that you borrowed the money from the IUL, it's still earning 10 to 20% interest every month. So even though you borrowed it and you accessed it, it's still making you money. That's why it never runs out of money.
Rodney, right now. I mean, this Ken says it all, even with this question right here. There's got to be a part 3 to Rondi's appearance. Yeah. I'm not even asking for a discount. I just need everything Rondi teaches. Is there a master class, an inner circle, or how do we become students?
That is a great question. In fact, I have a brand new product, and that's a perfect segue for this. I own Fortress University. I'm a founder of Fortress University, which is a 501c3 nonprofit financial education company. So I'm actually a professor at San Diego State University, and my course that I teach is 7 days to 740 credit. I teach at San Diego State, Temple, Penn, and now Forbes.com in their MBA program. So I'm a professor with Forbes now. And my class is 7 days to 740 credit. That's one of 5 classes inside of Fortress University. So we have a brand new product that we're giving people access to Fortress University. Each one of those courses I sell to these colleges for $1,000 to $2,000 a student. So there's approximately $10,000 of courses. You get access to it for $50 a month.
No, stop, Rondi. Stop, man. Stop. There's no way.
It's $50 a month. And with that $50 a month, you also get credit monitoring service with all 3 credit bureaus with my other company, Credit Mojo, which normally sells for $35 a month. So you get credit monitoring with identity theft protection and the ability to pay all your bills through Credit Mojo and budgeting software and Fortress University. Plus,
there's more? There's more.
Plus, I'll report it to all 3 credit bureaus as payment history. So you get an active, open account, because part of having good credit is having active accounts. The problem if you have poor credit is you can't get accounts.
Correct.
And so I will report the payments that you make to me to all 3 credit bureaus. You get access to Fortress University and all the courses and active credit monitoring and identity theft insurance for $50 a month. It's kind of a no-brainer. And there's even more.
Hold on. Do you see these comments? Look at this. Wow. I need that link ASAP. What? I am in and I'm done. Tracy.
So I don't have the link for you yet because they're literally in the process of building out the funnel. Because I already have all these programs. I have Fortress University. I have credit repair. I have the monitoring, and I have the ability to report. But I've never put them in one product, and now I do. So here's how it works. If you want, you can start at just $50, and we just start reporting it. If you want an aged account, it's not a trade line that you get access for 3 months. This is an actual account. It's your account. But if you want aged history with it, then there's 3 options. You can get it with 6-month history, a year history, or 2 years of history. So if you want 2 years of perfect payment history and all of that stuff, then there's a small down payment. It's $500 and you get 2 years of history, or for $300 you get 1 year history, or for $100 you get 6 months. And then it reports as $5,000 loan, $10,000 loan, or $25,000. So if you pick the gold, it's $500 and $50 a month. It shows up. By the time it reports, you're going to have about 26 months of payment history already on it. It'll show that the loan was 25 grand, but now it's $50 is all it's owed. And then every month, it just shows that you owe $50. As long as you make the payment, you get access to Credit Mojo, you get access to Fortress University, You get access to my live weekly coaching call that I do every Thursday. And I'm doing one tonight.
That is the bomb, by the way.
You get access to that too. So there's a lot you get, $50 a month. Let me see if I have a link that's actually just the shopping cart, but I don't have the pretty website yet. So, or they can just send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or however you want them to get in touch with me.
Everybody's saying they need that link, Rondi. And
let me see if
getting in contact. Rondi's getting in contact. He's going to get it right for you guys now. Don't worry about it.
Let me see if I got a link here. I mean, it's all, you can get it right now. You can buy all of that stuff at my main website, Fortress Credit or RondiLambeth.com. The problem is it's a lot more money. It's like $2,500.
Okay.
Let me see if Chastity's got it in here. She doesn't. So we just don't have the link quite ready.
Okay.
But I will get it for you. By the time you run this tonight, I know we're going to rebroadcast. I'll have you the link.
Okay. Great. And I also put it on there where they can go to RondiLambeth.com. Put it right there on the screen. You guys can go, but I guess he's going to have the link. Don't worry about it. I will make sure for anybody else who's out there, they can go on ahead and if they can just text link. They can go ahead and text link to this number that's on the screen, 612-547-8826, and we'll get that out to you, Rondi. 612-547-8826, and we'll go ahead and when Rondi sends that link over, we will send that to you guys.
Yeah, and that's like I said, I just don't have the ClickFunnels page because I've been working on the pricing and the messaging, and I got to. In fact, this weekend I'm recording all the videos for the ClickFunnels page, but the products are all there. It's just I haven't created the page for you to put in the money. So last month we reported over 1,000 people. Just over 1,000 actually we sold that product to that were already clients. And so we kind of tested it with our clients. And so we didn't need to have a fancy ClickFunnels page. It was, hey, click here if you want to add this to your monthly bill. And so that's what they did. So to recap, they get credit monitoring, they get access to Fortress University, my live weekly coaching call every Thursday, and I report it to all 3 credit bureaus for $50 a month.
So now, Rondi, you got to tell me when does because I know your Thursday nights is the bomb. If you have never been in there, you guys got to lock and load. Now I'm on Thursday nights too. Are you coinciding with my show on Thursday nights, Rondi? Let me know because they're gonna have to pick, man.
Usually it's on Wednesdays. So every 90 days or so, I every quarter I change it up. And last quarter was on Wednesdays. Yeah. And then I had some scheduling conflicts, so I moved it to Thursdays. Next quarter, it's going to be Wednesdays. And I try to keep it on Wednesdays. So I call it both Wednesdays. So yeah.
So Wednesday nights, at what time, Rondi?
5:30 Pacific.
Okay.
And then we record it at 8:30 Eastern.
Yes.
It's usually an hour. So it's usually like 15 to 20 minutes of me teaching on that subject. And then the rest is all Q&A based on the subject or whatever they want to ask about. And I record all the calls. We have a private Facebook group. And then all of the calls also get loaded up into Fortress University so you can watch them anytime you want. Last week, it was Section 179, how to use Section 179 in your business.
That's for the purchase of cars, right?
But people don't realize this is if you already own the car personally, you still can do it. You can just sell it to your business. So let's say you have a, 2020 GMC Denali truck and it's worth $80,000 and you bought it, 3 years ago. It's in your personal name. You literally just write on your minutes, I, Rondi Lambeth, founder of blah, 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 sell my truck to my business. You get a full write-off that day, even though your business did not write you a check for $80,000.
Right.
Because you just simply wrote a bill of sale. And so the law doesn't say you have to change the insurance to the registration. You don't have to do any of that. You simply just write it on your minutes that you sold it and what the price was, and you get that write-off right then. similar to cost segregation, but it's called Section 179. So last week, that's what we talked about. Tonight, what I'm going to be teaching is how to set up a self-directed IRA. So you can buy real estate, because it's you should have a self-directed IRA and an IUL. So you can put the $6,000 into the IRA and whatever it is into the IUL.
So Rondi, what you're saying is it a possible way for those who are tuning in, because we got some people out here right now that are tuned on here, that they can actually take a hold of that broadcast tonight, or do they have to wait any?
They have to wait, because there's quite a bit they got to go through to get access to everything. Because it's a 12-week coaching program. So I go through every week and I send them a financial fitness kit and some books and some CDs. And so it's quite a process to go through, to the onboarding call and all of that stuff. But they can get on next week for sure if they buy the link. If they, I hate to make them wait, but I guess they're just going to have to wait.
They're gonna have to wait. Make their expectation grow.
Look, if they go to Instagram, they find me on Instagram, or they go to rondilambeth.com and click contact me, you'll be put in the system, and then you're going to get the link a lot faster.
Awesome. Because
we have it on the other side. It's just we don't have the pretty side one done.
There you go. Well, you guys know, for those who got my personal number, you guys can contact me. I'll make sure you guys get it too. Or if not, get the number on the screen, 612-547-8826. Or please go like and subscribe and follow Rondi Lambeth on Facebook and Instagram. Rondi Lambeth, man. Y'all go like and subscribe, man. And go follow Rondi. Rondi's got some amazing stuff you guys want to get tapped into. Tracy says, is this live? He meant the next one. Is this live open for your students? Yes. Yes. Live will be open for his students. GQ says, Drew, when we talk tomorrow, we will get more about that information. I would like to do something like that. Got you covered, GQ. Don't even worry about it. Errol say, man, what a full write-off. Talking about Section 179.
It expires. Well, it doesn't expire, but it drops to so right now it's $500,000. Next year it's $400,000, and it just basically goes away. It drops by 20% a year. For now, it'll get reinstated when the new president gets elected.
We already know. Ronnie, we talk like that, man, too. So we already know. Eros Fire Mosey, this is awesome. Plug. Quentin actually asked a question, which was earlier, which I want to go back to make sure that we get that question. And the question Quentin asks is, I need to know how to have my own credit repair business.
You know, I bet there's probably 30, 40 people out there over the last 15 years that I fixed their credit, and now they own a credit repair business. I used to do coaching on that and consulting. I really don't do that anymore. I mean, look, everything's for sale.
Yeah.
If you bribe me with enough money, I could probably I'd probably take some time to show you how to set up a multi-million-dollar business based on what I've done. So, you know, I can tell you this. I'm hiring all the time on my life insurance business, my insurance business. And if I went back 20 years or 15 years, I wouldn't even do credit repair. I would strictly just do insurance. You can make so much more money. It is a lot easier. There is no overhead. I mean, my overhead is $250,000 a month.
Wow.
On day one, on the first of the month, it's $250,000, regardless if I help a single client. My insurance, you can literally make millions of dollars a year and have 30, 40 grand a year in overhead. Ed Milet makes $25 million a year in residuals. And the only overhead he has is his E&O insurance, which is $1,000. He's got a cell phone, which he'd have anyway. And he's got an assistant that's 50 grand a year. And then his state license, which is like $100. So generally speaking, my insurance agents, you know, your overhead's $1,000 a year and you can make 100 grand. Very, very easily make 100 grand. You can make $1 million a year if you work hard.
Yeah.
And that money's all residual. So once you make $1 million a year, it's $1 million a year the rest of your life, because insurance pays you every year for that policy you did 20 years ago, you're still getting money on 20 years later. So if it was me, I wouldn't even think about credit repair, and I would strictly just go after, I'd talk to me about my financial services and go after the life insurance side, because there's serious money making there. And you're helping people.
Yeah.
You really, truly are, like the guy that I was telling you about that died,
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet you if you could go back,
yeah,
he'd get $1 million, because then his family would be taken care of right now instead of what they're going through.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have to worry. Fix everything, but sure makes things easier.
Whole lot more better, Rondi, as you know. I know Ken's on a plane. He's flying back from New York right now, and he's asking questions. He's probably on a runway typing in his questions. Ken said, so there is real estate and there are apartment buildings. There are levels to real estate.
Yeah. So there's single family homes. There's multifamily. Generally speaking, multifamily, 16 doors or more. So 16 front doors. Doesn't matter how many bedrooms, but that's what they call it, as doors. So when you buy single family, it's one door, one front door. If you buy a fourplex, that'd be 4 doors. Or if you buy apartment complex, it's 100 doors. And then the bedrooms are different. So if the market's doing really well and you're sophisticated and you put in the time, then buying single family is a good way to get started.
Okay.
But that's very difficult. So what I generally teach people is invest the money. Instead of going and putting $30,000 on a $100,000 condo and dealing with the Airbnb and all that, give me the 30 grand. I put it in the apartments. We pay 10 to 20% a year in interest, and let it start building up that way. Because that's a guaranteed 10 to 20%. And it varies because each apartment's different, and then each level of investment's different. But if you give me $10,000, I'm going to pay you 10% interest every year. And so that's going to start doubling. About every 7.5 years, that money's going to double. And you can't lose it. And then you can take that money out later and you can buy single family, or just stick with me on the apartment side. But yeah, there's definitely different levels. And look, there's condos, there's apartments, there's duplexes. If I was going to bet on what's going to get hit the hardest with this real estate crash that's coming, it's going to be the fourplexes, the duplexes and fourplexes. They're the people that bought it with no money down, moved in for a little while, and then rented out, moved out, and now they're renting it. And people aren't paying rent, because of COVID reasons. And most of those moratoriums are now lifted. And so the foreclosures have started. And there's going to be tens of thousands of these duplexes and fourplexes that are foreclosed on, because it's just mom and pop. They can't afford to pay 2 mortgages. And so those are just going to go away. And I think you're going to be able to pick up a lot of those, and then you can flip them. And the nice thing with those is, let's say you bought 8 duplexes. Once you get at least 12, you can refinance it into one loan. So you can do a commercial loan now and put it all in one loan. And then you can start using the strategies that we teach inside of Fortress University. For example, how to pay off a 30-year mortgage in 15 years without making an extra payment, by simply learning how to manage and borrow money at 0% interest. So that's one of the other courses we teach. So yes, there's different levels of real estate for sure.
Awesome. Kennard Haney asked another question. How much will $1 million cost me at 58 years old, healthy and a non-smoker?
I'm going to guess probably $250 a month for $1 million of insurance, somewhere around there. And it depends on, your cholesterol level and stuff like that. It also depends on your net worth. If you're a bartender making 20 grand a year, $1 million life insurance policy is going to cost more than someone making $5 million a year. So they do look at that, and they look at your credit. But I'm going to guess probably 225, 250, somewhere in there.
Okay. Ken, that's a good question.
You could probably put 70,000 a year into that with no issues.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, he's big on that and everything. He said, "I'm coming. I just got seated on my plane."
All right.
I know. GQX is a good question. She said, "What is a UCC 1-308?"
I don't know. And that's I'd say if I was going to look it up, I'd go to Google and type it in. There's a lot of people out there who will bullshit you and tell you stuff. Everything I tell you, I know it and I do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that is. And I'm okay with saying I don't know.
Yeah. So, hey, she's on it, man. Q says not bored. Keep going. Q also says, so is it IUL better than whole life?
That answered when I was getting ready to take the bar in California. State of California allows you to take the bar without going to law school, as long as you can pass the bar. And so I was going to do that. And I eventually decided not to because there's a lot of restrictions that attorneys have. But the answer, what they taught us was the answer is always it depends. So is an IUL better than the whole life? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. Generally speaking, for cash value, IUL is better because it's indexed or can be indexed. Not all are indexed, but they can be. So like the account that I use is a money managed JP Morgan IUL. And so people are actually in there picking stocks. And the way that you get paid is interest based on what the stock market does. And so how the insurance company is able to pay you 20%, 100% interest is they're using a portion of your money to buy options. And they will short stocks. And if they're right, they could take a $10 short and they might make $1,000 off of that. And then they split, basically, they're splitting what they make with you. Now, it's more complicated than that. But essentially, they're using your money as collateral. Insurance companies are required to have 3 times the amount of cash as their policy. So if they gave your other guy $1 million life insurance policy, they got to have $3 million in cash. And so by allowing you to put cash in, that counts for their reserve, which means they can use their cash now to play the stock market, Forex trade, and all of that. And they're the best at it. They're better than anybody else in the world. That's why when you go to cities, the biggest buildings are owned by the insurance companies.
Yeah.
They know how to manage money. And so when you put your extra cash in, that's freeing them up to use their cash to invest and buy options. And with indexed, you can make 100% return, whereas with whole life, it's a flat 3% generally. Number 5. So would you rather receive 3% return or 100% return? So that's the answer to that question is depends on what you want, 3% or 100. I prefer the 100. Now,
it's a no-brainer.
Look, if the stock market does nothing, the whole life gets 3% no matter what. But inflation's like at 12. So you're losing money at 3%. I don't do whole life ever. So
he dropped knowledge right there saying he doesn't do whole life, man.
I don't do it.
So just in general, y'all keep that in mind. So it's funny because and when we can speak on this, I heard Apple is getting into the healthcare game now. They just broke news and stuff like that this last week. Did you see that?
I didn't, but it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I bought an Apple Watch. I just sent it back yesterday because I got this Garmin Sapphire, but it was just too small. I couldn't see the screen, but it was tracking my heart rate. It was tracking my EKG, my oxygen levels, my sleep. I mean, it was tracking everything. So it does not surprise me that they would get into healthcare or some type of insurance because
2024 is supposed to drop. I was blown away. Yes,
that totally makes sense.
Yeah,
why they're adding all that free stuff in there, like this Aura Ring.
Yeah,
I don't see how these guys are going to stay in business now that they're charging $5 a month for the subscription. So it's $300 for the ring, and then $5 a month on top of it. When you can buy an Apple Watch for $300 and get all the data for free. So I think Aura is going to be in World of Hurt here pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these people, man, they coming out here. Apologies, I'm at my day job. They're asking questions. Awesome. $50 per how long? You know,
As long as you want access to Fortress University and Credit Mojo. I mean, look, if you, I signed somebody up last week. She's paying $70 a month for LifeLock. And now she's getting Fortress University is reported to all 3 credit bureaus and Credit Mojo and identity theft insurance for a flat fee of $50 a month and weekly coaching calls. So it's $50 a month until you cancel it. If you cancel it, it's just we stop reporting. It's that simple. If you cancel it, you don't get access to Fortress University or the coaching calls anymore or Credit Mojo. But I mean, it's not, there's no contract that says you have to pay for year, 2, 3 years or anything like that.
Wow. Now let's talk about cash back. I just seen this question. Somebody just hit me. Cash back rewards when it comes to credit. What do you think? What do you think about that, Rondi?
I love it. I just transferred this morning $778 from this card right here.
That city card. Oh,
yep. Just this morning. That was from last month in cashback. Look at this. That's my $300 for Costco for using that city card. Just buying groceries and gas at Costco. I'm not going crazy, guys. I just buy my groceries there. So then if I showed you my Amex, I mean, my Amex points are insane, as well as Citibank and my other credit cards and stuff. But I have over 1 million points right now. And I haven't personally spent money on my Amazon account. I don't know, 5 months, 6 months. And I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon because I just redeem the points. So my American Express shows up. I go in there to buy, I don't know, I just bought an infrared night vision scope for my rifle. So I can see night vision and infrared. It was $2,500. And I just redeemed $2,500 worth of points from Amex. So I do it every day, like literally almost every day. I'm almost out of coffee creamer, so I'm going to probably order some coffee creamer with my Amex points. So, yeah,
life is good, man. Kadar Henry says, hello, Leverage Show family. Glad to see you, Q and Lakeisha Towns of the Forces with you both. I told you, man, we're like one of the hottest shows out here, man. We was at the, I don't know, Rondi, if you know who Earn Your Leisure is, man. They're big podcasters, hugely. They go around the world. Well, I flew to Ohio last week, met with Kennard, Jamal, and Steven and Q and some of the other people, man, out there. We had a great time. But when we sat in that conference, we looked down our row and we said, we have some of the best people on the Leverage Show coming that we're light years ahead. I said, man, you guys want to go on ahead and tap in to us. And I meant it confidently. Like, dude, we got some of the best who comes. Rondi Lambeth come to the show. Dude, this is what we're here for. Stay plugged in, get tapped in. This is what the Leverage Show is about, man, for you guys. GQ asks a good question. What is the best type of insurance for an elderly person with no children? And she's in about her 70s. I guess she's probably saying this.
Well, it depends on what you're trying to do with it. So, we help people. You can get life insurance in your 70s. You can get it until age 88, I believe it. It might be 86, but somewhere in there, in your 80s. It depends on what you want to do. Usually when we set up life insurance for someone in there above 65, it's for tax planning because they want their family to get money tax-free without having to pay the estate tax. So that's generally what it's for, is for tax planning. But it just depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you have no children, then you don't have to worry about leaving money there, but maybe you want to leave it to a charity. I have an orphanage that I have 32 kids. My buddy started the orphanage. I pay for 32 kids, their food, their clothes. I mean, I don't sponsor one. They're all my kids. And, if I die, they're going to get a whole bunch of money. And so some people will get life insurance so they can, if they die, that the money goes to their charity, their favorite charity. Because look, if $1 million costs you $200 a month, $2,400 a year, and if you died, they get $1 million, then that's a lot better than you giving them, a couple $1,000s a month to your favorite charity. Instead, take the money and put it into a life insurance policy. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense.
Yeah. So if I wanted to say, hey, I want to give $500,000 to my orphanage, I'd just go get a life insurance policy and put it there. And that's how they get their money. Because we're all going to die at some point.
Yeah.
It's just when. Some of us die a little sooner, obviously. So the sooner you get the life insurance, the healthier you are, the cheaper it is. One of my policies, I think, is $60 a month for $1 million, $80 a month, something like that. But I got it 15, 16 years ago.
Okay. Wow. And she asked, so that is what I want, the tax break. So she wants the tax break from behind that.
Yeah. So I helped a guy. He was like 80. He was like 82, and he had $5 million he wanted to give his daughter. She was going to pay $2 million and change in tax. And I said, how about we get a $5 million life insurance policy? We fund that, pay for it all up front. And then when you die, your daughter's going to get $5 million. And that's what we did. So, fortunately, he's still alive. So his daughter hasn't got the money yet. But when he dies, she's going to get $5 million, no tax. And it just goes up. I mean, literally like 72 hours after you send them the death certificate, you get the cash.
Wow.
And then
it's crazy. And freaking sane. Kennard Haney said, what are your thoughts, Rondi, on real estate and the metaverse? That's been the hottest thing lately. What do you say about that?
I've been buying real estate since I was 18 years old, and I'm 50 right now. I have a birthday coming up, but I've been buying real estate now 32 years. I believe in it. I think it's one of the greatest. I think it's the greatest way to wealth. I think selling life insurance is the easiest and fastest way to get rich. And then you invest your money in real estate and you become wealthy. So I don't think there's anything better than that. Now, as far as the metaverse, it's here to stay. And I own real estate in the metaverse as well. And I own a bunch of crypto. And I own Twitter stock, which if you have a little bit of money, you might want to buy some Twitter stock. Once you figure out what Elon's doing, Twitter.
75% reduction rate of the employees. Wow.
Because they said this on TV, and these talking heads that think they're smarter than everybody else on the planet and they think Elon's stupid. They said right on TV what they're going to use it for. So I will tell you what they're going to use Twitter for. They are creating a new blockchain that's going to compete with PayPal, and it's going to allow you to pay someone anywhere in the world within a few seconds using your Twitter account. That's why he demanded to find out how many fake users, because he can't turn it into a bank with fake users. And he doesn't need 75% of the employees to run the bank. And so Twitter is going to be literally a way to trade and send money. So it's going to wipe out Venmo and Zelle and all the rest of them that require bank accounts. With Twitter, that will be your account. You can load your crypto or load your cash into it. And there's now a bank in Wyoming strictly for crypto money.
Whoa. You got to tackle that, because a lot of my people on here, they're in the crypto market and Forex market who tune into the broadcast.
It's the only state that you can have a bank account. So I own a blockchain. So I own Climate Chain.
Rondi owns a blockchain. Whoa. Drop the mic. Mic drop after this.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So we have a blockchain, my girlfriend and I, and we haven't really told anybody about it because we were waiting for our trademarks to come through, but it's called Climate Chain.
Okay.
And it is So if you go and most of the blockchains are using Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
And just a couple months ago, it was $12,000 to do one trade on Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it's 0.02 cents.
Mm.
So to kind of give you an idea on Visa, every time you swipe your Visa card, it costs basically an energy 2 cents. We're a fraction of that. So anyway, that's our blockchain. So answer this question on Metaverse. It's here to stay. I love real estate. I like crypto. I like blockchain. I invest in all of it. I'm not a speculator. And so I have a 40-40-20 rule. 40% of my money goes into rock solid real estate. 40% goes into businesses that I buy stock in. And then 20%, I'm a little more aggressive. I buy crypto that I could lose money on. Okay? Like, I got a whole bunch of HBAR and a whole bunch of Ethereum and a whole bunch of Bitcoin. I never got into Doge, and I don't do the speculating thing. I try to buy stuff that I think is going to go up. I think HBAR is one of them. But anyway, that's my answer to that. I like real estate in the metaverse, and I own real estate in the metaverse, and I think it's here to stay.
Well, shout out to a good friend of ours. I know Jamal Titus will get this out, him and Kennard Aney. Don LaPlume came to the show from Megaveris. And that is actually building out in the metaverse real big. Some big heavy hitters, Ronnie. We'll talk more about that, man.
I got some property right next to, I own the last square of everything Snoop has bought around me.
Really?
So I'm just waiting for the offer.
See, this is what we're talking about here, Ronnie. I thought at one point I knew that your stance with crypto, you were looking at it, you were in it, you were out. And I didn't know you had a definite. Now you guys got a definite now, what Ronnie's talking about. Tracy usually says, what bear taken with a bow or rifle?
That bear was shot 4 times with a 300 Remington Ultra Mag, which is a massive gun. That bear was over 1,000 pounds. So I went bear hunting in April. And before everybody gets all up in arms, you got to know the whole story. So since the 1960s in Alaska, anytime there's a problem bear that's like really violent, instead of killing the bear, there's an island 75 miles off the coast of Valdez, Alaska. And instead of killing this bear, they take these bears and drop them off on this island. This island is so dangerous that you're not legally allowed to walk around on the island. And they only let 3 people a year even hunt. And you have to do it from a boat. Because if you walk around on the island, these bears will sneak up behind you and kill you. So 2 days before I shot my bear, I'm running to get into a place where I'm stalking this bear. And so I'm trying to get to a place where I can shoot him, trying to get in front of him. I turn around and he's about 100 yards away from me, running full blast to kill me. And he got within about 50 yards of me. And then 2 days, and then we shot. I couldn't shoot him because my guide was standing between me and the bear. So the guide turned around. He can't legally shoot the bear because he's too far away. And so he shoots up in the air and the bear runs off into the woods. And then 2 days later, I get him. So these bears, the reason they let you go hunt them is if they don't kill these big monsters, then these bears will kill 5 to 7 females and their babies. And so by me going in and killing this monster, it's going to save 5 to 7 babies' lives and the mother's lives. So let me show you a picture of this guy, just so you see how big this bear is. Now, I'm 6'4", 230 pounds. So I'm a pretty big dude.
My gosh, Rodney. What is that, man? Harry and the Hendersons, man? Bigfoot?
he just came out of hibernation. He was over 1,000 pounds after not eating for months. This is how big his paw was.
That's insane.
I have big
insane.
Anyway, I shot him with the 300 rum. And it took 4 shots. And So the rule is up there is you shoot until they stop moving. And then, but these rifles are so big that you can only put 3 rounds in it. So I actually shot him 3 times, had to reload, shot him a 4th time. And the same day that I shot him, there was a Army squad that was attacked by a brown bear, and he attacked like 10 of them and killed 1 of them.
Wow.
So these bears they're no joke. And then 2 weeks after I shot my bear, another guy snuck out on the island because they don't let you go out there. He was out there walking around, a bear jumped on him, attacked him, and killed him. So these are not friendly eat and berry bears. These are I will hunt you down and kill you bears.
This is not Winnie the Pooh then out there eating no honey.
It ain't no Winnie the Pooh. No. Yeah.
Larry says and everything, man, laughing down too much the process here. This requires a few replays. Yes, Larry.
Yeah, that's great.
You're gonna need that, man. Tracy used to say, "I'm sorry, y'all. This is my thing, money and hunting." So he loves this, man.
I just spent 7 days in the wilderness in Idaho, no electricity, elk hunting. So,
yeah,
I do quite a bit of hunting.
Yeah,
I like it, and you know what? I'll teach inside of Fortress University how to make it a tax write-off.
Oh, hunting a tax write-off.
That's right. Do you think I go hunting by myself? No, I always have a business partner or affiliate go with me. And we talk business the whole time, and I write off the whole trip.
Wow.
Anyway.
So that will be in the link that he sent. So make sure that you guys are going to RondiLambeth.com or send him a message, man, on Facebook or Instagram at Rondi Lambeth. And make sure you guys, send them some information. For those and everything who got my number, text me because I know Rondi will send a link to me and I can forward it to you guys. And make sure that you guys get that right, man. Rondi, listen, I really want to thank you, man. You've given us over 90 minutes again of just brain-dropping information, man. And truly, 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 man, you are definitely welcome back for any time of part 3, 4, 5, or 6 to the Leverage Show. And I know the family here, man, definitely appreciate you as well. Tracy said, my man.
Awesome.
Errol says, man, we appreciate y'all, man. Listen, we thank you guys, man, for tuning in. They did numbers today on this broadcast is what we usually do at night because they knew Rondi was coming, man, a little bit earlier. So thank you guys, man, again, for going on ahead, man, and tapping in. So, Rondi, man, any final thoughts, man, on the show or anything, man, that you want to talk about, man, with your broadcast, man, and with your course or anything else that you have new coming out?
All I say is follow me on Instagram or TikTok, or Facebook, which one's your favorite, and realize that your credit score is the most important number in your life, financial number. Everything costs more with bad credit. Your gas, your groceries, your electricity, your everything. Because when you use cash back credit cards, you get cash back. And so it essentially costs you less. So it's not just about how much you pay in interest. It's really how much you pay in everything. So think of it as a marathon. Having great credit, great credit for life is one of the best things you can do is just build your credit, work on it, understand your credit, and leverage it because you can become extremely wealthy using credit. Look at Grant Cardone. When I met him 4 years ago, he's worth millions. Now he's in the billions, all from credit.
And that's what we're here for on the Leverage Show, to teach you guys how to leverage. And Rondi's going to be teaching those same tactics in his courses. So make sure you guys, man, not only just buy for yourself, buy for loved ones, buy for family, buy for friends, buy for somebody out there who can go ahead, man, and take access to what Rondi is actually offering. And all of that for $50? $50?
$50. I know, it's ridiculous.
Some people are going to spend that on Starbucks a week, man.
I know.
$50.
$50 for all of it. And, I come up with it because, look, we fix people's credit. And then once I fix it, they drop out. And so this way, I get them to keep a Credit Mojo account. I can continue to market to them through Fortress University and teach them. And look, 100% of the people that invest in my real estate, 100% of them come from my credit repair business. All of them. Wow. Either the podcast or the TV interviews or the credit repair, they all come through the credit side. So it's a way for me. I'm not making a whole lot of money on that $50. I'm really not. And it's like $3 a month in profit. It's just so I can help them get their IULs, get their tax planning, get their IRA set up, get them invested in my apartment complexes, and really just help the little guy get out of the trenches and start making some real money.
You heard it out of the goat's mouth himself, man. I don't know what more to say. Rondi, thank you, man. As you done heard, all of these comments have been nothing but thank you. Look at this. This guy, Kennard Haney, may be jumping out of the plane on the runway, man, after this.
Yeah.
So shout out to you guys. Larry says, thank you both, man. My wife, he says, yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Rondi. Jamal Titus said the best show yet, Lambo. Thank you, Rondi, man.
Thank you.
Showing so much love, man. Y'all think Rondi, Drew, you came through again. Fire emojis. Listen, it was Rondi, you guys. Rondi came through, showed y'all much love. Now, y'all go show him much love, man, and go do those enrollments. And let's go ahead, man, and tap into what Rondi's doing and join the movement, man. We're excited again, Rondi. Thank you again, man, for coming on to the Leverage Show. People are going to check the replay and the broadcast out. They're going to definitely know how to get in contact with you and definitely stay in tune with you, man, from this point on, Rondi. Yeah. So thanks again, man.
Thank you.
We are out of time. We are definitely not out of message. Thanks again for Rondi Lambeth for coming to the show, man, and literally blessing our socks off. Now, you guys make sure you guys bless Rondi's socks off and go get enrolled, man. Get somebody that you truly love to enroll as well, man, when he definitely drops that link. All right. So again, make sure you guys are sending him a message on Rondi Lambeth on his Instagram or on Facebook at Rondi Lambeth. Send him a message, or you guys can go on ahead, man. And again, text this number and everything, man. 612-547-8826, 612-547-8826. And I will get that link out for you guys where you guys can enroll as little as only $50 a month to what all that Rondi and everything, man, is bringing to you guys and helps change your lives and somebody else's lives around you. Listen, we love you guys. We thank you guys. We thank you, Rondi, again for coming to the show. And we will see you guys the next time. Again, this will be a rebroadcast at 8 p.m. tonight. Make sure you guys send this link out and share this link with somebody out here, man. Take care, you guys. We'll see you guys next time. Love y'all.